Hey boo, what's up? Welcome back. So in today's video will be that out the door neutral beat less than 15 minutes. So if you're like me and you're still having to go to work, this video is for you. So if you are interested in getting this neutral beat less than 15 minutes, just keep on watching. So after waking up, we are going to wash our face and put on moisturizer. So I will be using two moisturizers today. I'm using the Ole Henriksen True Serum and the Clinique ID Dramatically Different Jelly. Now I'm going to be using the True Serum, 2 squirts, and then I'm using 2 squirts of the Dramatically Different Jelly. Both together are very good for collagen boosting, pores, oils, and throughout the day it does not feel heavy for my skin. I am combination oily skin, so yeah, you know, I need something to control the oils and I need something to help the pores but giving me the hydrating feel that I need. So after moisturizing my lips, I am going to move into the primers. First primer that I'm going to be using is the Fenty Beauty. This is a True Matte Mattifying Primer. I really like this primer, girl, because like I said, I have a combination oily skin, and girl, this right here helps the T-zone. I like to push that into my pores, push it into my skin, my forehead, my nose, and my chin, where I get a lot of oil throughout the day, and just mattify it out just a little bit, especially up under my eyes, because sometimes I can get oily there too. Now moving in with foundation, I am going to be using the Born This Way from Too Faced. This is in the shade Butter Pecan. I will be mixing that Farsali Skin to Blur with that foundation because I found doing this, it kills time, and the actual primer sinks into the pores a little better with that foundation. Now, I always want to mix up my products, but when it comes to this primer and this foundation, guys, it is a match made in heaven. It feels very moisturizing on the skin, and using a brush will give me the best full coverage out of the product. Now, when I tell you, in the end of the day, my skin looks flawless by doing this step. And I actually seen Jackie Aina do it, and I just been doing it ever since, especially if I don't have time. And it's been working ever since with my oily combination skin. So moving on to concealers, I am going to be using the Born This Way Too Faced Concealer and the Cover FX. But I want to go ahead and contour first up, and then I just dropped it. The contour I will be using is from NARS. It's in the shade Rich Cocoa. I don't know. I'm just making sure I put everything down below for you guys. So check the description box on the products, okay? So go ahead and sculpt out my neck, my chin, my forehead, and my cheeks. Using my foundation brush, I will be buffing the jawline out first. And going on to a more denser brush, I will be using that to do around my forehead area and my cheekbones. I like to use my foundation brush around my jawline so it can just match the complexion. It won't look off or anything like that down in that neck area, because in that neck area kind of give like a shadow. So using my foundation brush with that, I found that it is a lot better with blending. Going to use the Too Faced Born This Way concealer first. This is in the shade Butterscotch, just to correct and to do a little bit of highlighting, but not exactly as bright as I would like it, for a more natural looking neutral beat. Let that sit a little bit, drink a little coffee, girl, because this is a more hydrating concealer. It's not drying, so I can let it sit for like 2 minutes, maybe even 3, and blend it out, and it blends out so good, and it's the best coverage when it comes to concealers. I love this concealer. I'm going to use a sponge to do this. It is damp. It is the the Total Face Sponge. And I'm just going to do my forehead area, everywhere that I put concealer, which is my forehead, the bridge of my nose, under my eyes, and my chin. So I'm going to use the same concealer and just go over my eyes just to blur out any discoloration. And just go ahead and use the tip of the sponge as I'm doing now to make sure everything is blending into the skin very well. Make sure I hit the nostril area to give out a better contour for my nose, so I won't have to use a lot of product. Then going on top of that with a more brighter concealer, which is the Cover FX. This is in the shade G Medium 4. I'm just going to place it in the inner part. Go ahead and get your setting powder, because once you blend it out, it's going to be time to set. I don't want to waste any more time. And I'm just going to go ahead and blend it out in the most inner part of the under eye area. I'm going to take some of that concealer and I'm going to go on the side of the nose to give myself a more natural contour. And I'm going to hit inside the nostril area, you know, inside of the crease of your nostrils. I'm going to take that in the bridge, and I'm going to place just the excess that I have left on the forehead area. Now, this is more of my brighter, when I want to look very bright and very more awake and more, you know, give that highlight effect. That's the technique that I normally do, but I don't put a lot on the sponge. I don't put a lot down in the bottom of my eyes, in the under eye area, because, you know, it's just less product, the better off you are. Directly, now this is directly into setting. I'm not going to waste any time. This is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Setting Powder in the shade Honey. I'm going to use this, tap the excess off, blow the excess off, and just go directly under my under eye area. Whatever I have left, I will be using it inside of my creases and my nostrils, and I will be using it on the top of my eyelids just to go ahead and matte everything down. Now, I found that this particular setting powder, it is a little bit on the matte side, and if depending on how many hours you are wearing it throughout the day, it does get a little dewy under there, but I'm not mad at that, because I do like a little dew throughout the day. I don't always want to feel like matte. I don't always want to feel like that. So whatever I have left, I just go ahead and reverse contour under the jawline, well, on top of the jawline area and the cheek area, and I'll take the excess and go ahead and mattify the eyelids, because my eyelids get oily. If you are like me, I advise you to do that. Just go ahead and mattify with that same powder that you use up under your eyes, and everything will somewhat be okay. And then I'm going to go in with the shade Cashew, just to give a little bake to my face, because like I said, I get oily throughout the day, and I want this makeup to last an 8-hour span, and I want to actually look like I'm more highlighted. So I just take the powder and I just place it on the bridge of my nose, my forehead, and up under my under eye area. To set everything, now this is to set. Before I move on with bronzer, I'm going to be using the Makeup Forever Professional. This is a powder, which it does have a little shade to it. This is a shade 173. I'm going to use that to go ahead and take off the bake and to set the rest of the skin. Now, I like to use a more of my complexion to take off the bake, because therefore I'm not going to have any flashback or look ashy throughout the day. You know what I'm saying? Because when you do not set with a complexion or a more sheerer, translucent powder, I feel like the loose setting powder that you do can change its color, you know. So I like to use that with a more my complexion skin tone. Using the bronzer, this is a more on a foundation powder. This is the Lancôme in the shade Suede 510. I like to use this to contour, because as you can see, it's giving me a little shadow, a little bit of depth, and it's more richer and deeper in shade, so I can get away with it for contour, and it blends to the skin very nice. I've been using this for a very long time, haven't hit pan yet, so you know the product's got to be really good, and it holds. I mean, when I say it holds, even on under a mask, even throughout the day, it holds the color. I mean, it really does. I'm going to use that same bronzer that I'm using from Lancôme. I'm going to go ahead and contour my nose, and then now what I'm doing is spraying everything down because of my powders. Now I'm going to go ahead and pop some lashes on, but I will be putting the glue on, letting it sit for a little bit before I do pop them on, and then concentrate on the crease of my eyes. I'm using that same bronzer that I use from Lancôme to deepen out my eye socket, just putting a little bit of depth inside of the crease. And to kill a little bit of time, I'm going to go ahead and do my brows before the lashes. Moving to the lips, I am going to be using the Understatement Lip Liner from Milani. Guys, this rich cocoa shade is everything. When I tell you it's everything, so creamy, and it lasts throughout the day. Even the creamy part, it still lasts throughout the day. I'm going to go with a matte liquid lipstick. This is from Dose of Colors. This is in the shade Supernatural. Now, I advise you, if you are wearing a mask, to go on with a matter lip. But if you have to use a gloss, like I normally will use a gloss, I would choose like the NYX Butter Gloss on top of that. But after I matte everything down on my lips, because I know that gloss is going to get messy up under the mask. So using some more of that lip liner, I'm going to go ahead and contour my lips out. Make sure that color is still there. Blend it in together. Then go just a little bit in the middle part of my lips with the lip gloss. I don't want to just splash it all over the lips. I just want to use the tip and just give a little bit of gloss on top of that. Now, blush is everything for me up under my mask, because if my bronzer is fading away or my blush is fading away, at least I have one or two that's lasting under the mask. And I mean, it's just so pretty throughout the day for work or just everyday wear. Setting everything with the Smashbox Photo Finish setting spray. This is a good setting spray. It's supposed to be transfer proof, but depending on the products that you are using, you know, probably will rub off on the mask, but it's very good and it lasts all day. Have your makeup setting. 15 minutes, yeah, I would absolutely say hell yeah with that setting spray. I'm going to use some highlighter for the inner part of the eyes and then go with some mascara to coat my lashes. Using the Makeup by Shayla and Maybelline collab is the Big Shot mascara in the shade Black. And once I do those, it's time to do some smell good, girl. I mean, do not neglect your smell goods. So whatever you got, just put it on. And this is the final look, guys. 15 minutes or less using these products. Girl, get it and go. Comment down below what you think about 15 minutes or less doing your makeup. What do you do? If you like the video, please give me a big old thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed before you leave comments. It does help the channel. Make sure you watch this video because it's a more natural look for every day as well. Very easy in drugstore. Make sure you are subscribed. Just hit her, honey, and she's going to ask you, do you want to subscribe? And you're going to say yes. See you on my next one. Love you. Mwah.